Proud of You is a parenting advice podcast and support group for dads hosted by two goofy dads. They are not pediatricians, nutritionists, OBGYNs, psychologists, nor are they authorities on parenting. They're just two dinguses trying to figure it all out. Their advice should not be taken as expert information. Parenting looks different for everyone, and there's no wrong way to be a dad. Frankly, if you're taking the time to listen to a podcast about it, you're already doing a great job. And these dads are proud of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Derek Mata.
And I'm Andrew Goody, and we are proud of you. So I have a trip coming up, and I'm not going to tell the entire internet when I'm going to be out of town, or that I'm going to be out of town. Well, I guess I have to say that I'm going to be out of town. Because I'm not...
I'm leaving, but I'm not telling anybody.
Because I'm not that person who's going to be like, hey, this is my address, and it's going to be vacant between this day and this day. Dude, it's wild to me how many people, like, just the level of awareness that people don't have, that they're like posting on their social media about being out of town and not thinking that there are like criminals who surf social media for people who have hashtag vacation in their pictures and just find their house and go steal their shit. Like,
yeah. So, you know, okay. So I don't know how much you're on social media. April showed me this guy. He's able to look at a picture and know exactly where it's at.
Yeah, it's not hard, man. I mean, you think about Google has pretty much mapped every outdoor surface of the earth.
Yeah.
So if you take a picture in a random parking lot, if you know what you're doing, you can find it. And frankly, with like AI iterative image searches, you don't even have to be very good to find it. Like,
no, so like when you're
crazy
at Disney and you're like hashtag Disney, and somebody's like, all right, let me go through your profile. I see this picture. I see this one. I got your house.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't a safety thing. Continue going with your story.
No, I mean, it totally is. Like, I think, so we had our rough topic for today was going on adventures. And I think that part of going on an adventure, part of the dad side of going on an adventure or vacation or whatever you want to call it with your family is keeping your house safe while you're gone, right? Like having a security system or cameras or a dog or whatever, is kind of part of taking care of your family, right? Because you got to take care of your family on that trip. But you also got to take care of the place you're going to come back to, where all your stuff is.
You know what you need? A motion activated turret on the top of your house.
Yeah.
I saw that on Facebook the other day. I mean,
I don't
obviously a terrible idea.
I don't think our HOA approves military technology. I'd have to check, but
I don't remember seeing it in any of the law, so I think
it's true. There's no rule that says a golden retriever can't play basketball.
They made a few movies out of that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm taking a trip soon, and it's going to be Emily and I's first real vacation since like her pregnancy. Basically, we haven't really taken, like, we've taken day trips here and there, and we go camping and that kind of stuff, but we haven't taken like a full on vacation in the last 3 years. So we're pretty stoked about it. The one like hesitancy within that level of stoked is it's going to be Alana's first flight.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, so like I thought the same thing when my kids went on their first flight. I was like, man, they are going to hate it. They freak out about the smallest things. I was like, airplane. I hate flying. Terrifies the fuck out of me. So it's like my kids are very similar to me. They're gonna fucking hate flying. They were good. Like, yeah, I think it's a kid thing. Like, you don't have that fear because nobody's instilled it in you.
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50, right? I mean, like, obviously the like media stereotype is like, oh, the crying baby on the plane. I fly a lot. I used to fly a ton for work. Now I fly less, but I still fly quite a bit. I've never really had an issue with, like, I mean, I've definitely had like loud kids on a flight or like a crying baby on a flight, but it's never been like make or break. And it's never been like the whole 6-hour flight to New Jersey that kid is crying the whole time, right? And I'm sure those experiences exist, but I think the overwhelming majority of travel concern and the perpetuation of that is that parents are worried that their kids are going to be the problem on the plane, right? People don't want to be the issue. And like, I mean, I'm that guy who like, I have stood up for other moms while I was flying because they had a kid and the kid started crying and somebody on the flight was like, really? And I was like, hey, shut your fucking mouth right now. Right. Like I'm that guy. I'll stand up for mom. So I'm like, Emily is like a little bit worried about it. I'm like, well, I mean, like worst case scenario, the thing that you have to worry about is me. Like, I'm going to be the one who's going to cause conflict, not Alana. Like,
Nobody's going to fight you on a plane.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's the reality is like people like to complain and people like to whine and
it's usually people who don't have kids, who haven't been around small children. Like kids cry. I remember being, I mean, not in an airplane, but I remember being in my early 20s, you know, before my first kid, going to restaurants, I'm like, fuck, these kids are crying. I'm just trying to enjoy my food with my friends. And then had my first kid and she was crying. I was like, oh, this is just something that happens. And I just like the realization hit me like a fucking ton of bricks. So like those people that are complaining is because they're fucking, they don't understand what it's like. Your kid, even the most perfect parent that can knows the decibel of the cry. Oh, that means they need some goldfish crackers or whatever.
That's cry number 4. That means she's got a dirty diaper.
Yeah, some shit like that. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes kids just cry because they don't know what the hell's going on. And those people complaining have never had kids before or been around kids long enough to understand that they just cry to cry sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, I think one of the things I realized because I was thinking through like, I'm that guy, right? Like I run through scenarios in my mind. I'm like, what if somebody says this? What if this happens? This. And then I was sitting here, I was like, I've flown so much. I've flown professionally, right? Like I traveled for a living.
Fuck is flying professional? You a pilot?
No. I mean, like I was in like ground sales. So like I was flying for work every week, like 2 or 3 flights a week, all across the country for a while. Like, you know, and like my point is I have been on a lot of flights and all of these scenarios that I'm running through my head never happened. Right. Like, and I think part of it is one of the, you know, upsides and downsides to everything. We live in this modern world of technology, right? So like as a single traveler, I don't know if you've ever flown alone or if you've only ever flown with your family, but like
I've only ever flown alone. Actually, I've never.
Oh, okay.
With my family. Yeah.
So as a single traveler, what's the first thing that you do when you get on an airplane?
I mean, once I find my seat.
Yeah. I mean, you you find your seat, you put away your carry-on, you tuck in your bags, you put your seat belt buckle on, and you put your headphones in.
I mean, okay, so
right?
I don't. So that's why.
You don't?
What do I do? I check my surroundings to see who the fuck's around me.
Yeah, well, no, I mean for sure, but like that's like 90% of the plane, right? Especially if you're on a longer flight, like 90% of the plane is watching movies on either a tablet or the seat back thing. If there's in-flight entertainment, they're listening to music while they're reading a book. Like everybody is so distracted and like half of the people are wearing noise canceling headphones anyway, right? So if the baby starts crying, most of the plane's not going to notice, right?
Yeah, no, and I want to say like the last time I flew, like I feel like technology has advanced quite a lot, and I'm going to sound outdated and ignorant and whatever. Last time I flew was 2018, and I feel like, again, you still have them walking around saying, hey, do you need headphones? Hey, do you need headphones? Because, well, surprise, I didn't have my own, and not because I couldn't afford them, because it was still something that was out of my price range kind of thing. Yeah. So to me, like, yeah, when I go sit on the plane, I don't put my headphones in because it's turn off electronics, take your headphones off, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But I know that when my kids flew, you recommended some headphones for them that Alana has.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, and I could be wrong, I was not on the flight. I was at home working. Surprise. Back in, I want to say April never had to use them.
Oh, yeah?
So, like, they were just great on the airplane, like, without the need for distraction from their tablets. Like, they had stickers. They had coloring pages.
Well, like, I feel like Noah is an appropriate age to be into it, right? Because flying is cool. Like, I'm 33 and I still like takeoffs and landings.
Nope.
Because it's yeah, I know.
Nope.
But like it is the reason why you don't like it is the reason why I like it, right? And this goes to when a little peek behind the curtain for our audience. When I said that I wanted to have an episode about adventures, Derek went, "I don't take adventures."
Don't take adventures.
But like, flying in an airplane is wild, right? It is like, it goes against logic. It's like, I was gonna say it goes against physics, but it just is physics, right? It's like really cool figuring out how lift and air resistance works to make your, like, it's such a cool thing, and it's an amazing like marvel of the modern world that we figured out how to do this thing that for all intents and purposes we have no right to do, right? Whatever creator you believe in or however you think humans got to this planet, they never intended us to be airborne. Not
with that much,
but we figured it out.
And that's why I don't like flying. It's the, how the fuck is this possible?
Yeah.
And then I'm not in control.
Yeah. When I get that
person, but
you're
like
no, but I get it. Cause like, I don't, especially on like long road trips and stuff, like I like to be the one driving because I like to be in control of the vehicle. Obviously I'm not the one flying the 747 when I take off for a long
fly
trip
professionally, so you might as well jump in that cockpit and take control.
Hey man, pilot wings are on my bucket list. I'll get there someday.
No, just be Frank Abagnale and just say you're a pilot and just fucking do it.
Hey man,
catch me if you can. For those of you who don't understand the reference,
there are YouTube instructionals for that.
There's YouTube instructional for everything. For
legal purposes, this is not a genuine suggestion.
No, this is a genuine suggestion.
Yeah, so like I'm really excited for the trip, and it's that double-edged sword, right? Where I'm like, I know that I'm going to be a little bit nervous on the day of travel, which is not my norm, right? I don't have travel anxiety at all. I like flying. But like going through TSA is going to be a little bit more challenging because we're going to have a toddler. Getting on the plane is going to be a little bit more challenging because she's, especially right now, she's in a big like run in circles in every room phase, and that's just not really possible on an airline. But at the same time, like when we take road trips, she's the longest we've gone with her in the car is like 2.5 hours to drive up north to go camping and stuff. And we were really worried about, we were initially going to take a trip last year. And then some life happened and we ended up not doing it, but we were a little bit worried about that trip because it was like, she was having a hard time with car rides, right? We had taken a couple of camping trips and she was just not happy in the car for longer than like 5 minutes.
Noah, when he was younger, was like that.
But now she's got a pair of headphones that we put on the headphones. We put on usually the Bluey soundtrack, and she just jams out and has a good time and hangs out. And so I'm like, hopefully that's going to be the experience on the plane. Like we're going to throw on her headphones if she's freaked out, and she's just going to listen to Chattermax on repeat until we land. Like,
God, fucking. Apparently, there's lyrics to that song. By the way, I don't know if you saw it in the group that we're in. Somebody posted the lyrics from Spotify for the Chattermax song. But,
I mean, it's just gibberish, but yeah,
no, it is. But like, somebody typed that shit out. What you should do though is talk to my wife, because she had to do it with 2 toddlers and a teenager who doesn't like to listen.
Yeah,
and you know my kids, they can't
and
sit still for more than a second and a half.
Yeah, and that was solo parenting too, right? Because you were at home working, so even tougher.
So, I mean, if take it how you want to. Reach out to her like, hey, what the fuck did you do? For one, she'd had you probably seen the Bluey Tower snack cups.
Yeah.
Kind of stack. She bought those for each of them and filled it with different snacks. So they were excited when they got a new snack kind of thing. At least, what she was telling me, what I remember. It was a couple months ago. My kids respond better to food than to anything.
Yeah.
They love to eat.
They're very treat motivated.
Yes, they are. I mean, well, yes, but no. You're like, hey, take a nap and you'll get some fruit snacks. They're like, yeah, I'm not taking a nap, but you're giving me those fruit snacks. And we're like, but we're not.
So you, when you moved back to Arizona, you guys drove across country with 3 kids and 3 cats and a dog. Like, that's wild to me, man.
Oh, okay. So let's clear this up. I drove with 3 cats and a dog.
Yeah.
She drove with 3 kids. I definitely had the better fucking drive.
It's true. It's true. But you also, I mean, like, all of the, I mean, it was across country, right? It
Yeah.
was 2,000 miles. So like, all of the hotels and gas stations and food and everything, you guys were together. You didn't have to deal with the fights and the screaming and the not wanting to sit still car ride with the kids, but you were still a part of that journey.
I'm not really, because she would just kind of tell me, like, because we had radios too, and she'd be like, "Your children," if something like really bad happened. But like by the time we got to our Airbnb, she's like, "I just cannot stand. No, I don't want to say stand. I cannot handle these kids anymore. They're screaming, they're crying, they're not getting along, kind of thing." I don't know.
It's
How she did it.
overwhelming.
My wife is a fucking superhero. I could not have been in her seat doing that trip. Let me tell you. But what we did is every time we had to stop for gas, which was like every 100 miles because the Jeep sucked on gas towing the motorcycle, she had a little goodie bag just full of random dollar store toys, stickers, toys, whatever. So when we stopped, the kids were excited that, cool, we get a new thing, which was fantastic. Like, cool. They were just excited to
A
stop.
reward system. Yeah.
Stretch their legs. Riley was actually very calm. She used to hate car rides, would throw up if you went 5 minutes down the road, throw up everywhere in the car. April threw away one of her favorite cups because Riley threw up inside of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
for our listeners, Riley is Derek's dog.
Riley is my dog. Yeah. Dumb looking thing, but she's so cute.
Oh, she's the best.
She's a great dog, but she real stupid looking. But that's the reason I love her, because she's dumb looking. But she would just lay there on the seat next to me, and whenever we'd stop for food, I'd give her some food. I do feel bad for the cats, though. They were in the back of the Jeep, and at one point, I don't know when, one of the little cat carriers fell down, and the cat got stuck like this for a little bit.
Oh no.
So I think it was like the last leg right before we got to the Airbnb for the night. So I think maybe I don't want to say the cat was stuck there for an hour, but he was stuck there for enough time to stress him out.
Yeah.
Because cats will, anybody will get stressed out if they're stuck in a tight space, and it just pissing and shit himself.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I mean, like he was in a cat carrier, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like he was unsafe. It just went from having this much room to having this much room because of that vertical tip. Like,
yeah, and I felt so bad. And let me tell you, like, I did everything I could when I repacked the car the next morning to make sure that it was Finn, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, sweet old Finn. And I made sure that all the cat, because I kept one cat up front, and I made sure all cats like had a chance to ride up front and was like secure that they weren't falling down and going to be squished or anything. Like, so my whole thing was like, make sure these animals are good, because I know we had a cat before we moved to Georgia, who, like, moving and new baby and everything freaked him out and started peeing on everything. So it's like, I don't want the cats to do that. I don't want the dog to do that. So that's what I had to deal with. Obviously a lot less stressful than moving with 3 kids. Lucas, hey, here's your Game Boy Advance that I got April for her birthday, 2 years ago. So he was learning to play games that we played.
It's the best.
Which were a lot harder than games these days. Like, I'll say it right now. And yeah, just finding little things for the kids, like little things to entertain them. Across she Velcroed things on the ceiling. Hey, we're in this state. Would move the little car, like a picture of her.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So then the kids were like, "Oh, are we moving a state? Like, oh, are we there yet?" And so both,
nice. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's big April energy, though.
It's totally big April energy. And for the longest time, the kids were like, "Oh, I can't wait to go back to that house in Texas."
Yeah.
And it meant so much to them. It's that memory that, I mean, whether or not they remember it now, but they held on to that for so long for such a small thing, like just that little bit of excitement. Whether it's that little treat bag, where it's a little Velcro car moving across states, like whether it's stickers on a fucking airplane. I don't know what kind of stickers. Again, talk to my wife. She probably has some to give you.
Yeah.
But I know she said that. On the flight to Texas, she didn't have to bust out any electronics for any of the kids. Like, they were that good. for a few hours. Like that was that 2-3 hour flight from here.
Yeah.
Like because of whatever tasks she had. So anybody listening, watching, let me know. I'll reach out to my wife for you. She's the Pinterest mom. She doesn't think she is, but she is.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, and that's always the key, right? And like we were joking about it because, you know, you said that you don't take adventures, you don't go on adventures, and I was like, it's just a frame of mind, right? Because for me, like I am a 33-year-old very tall child. Like I'm a kid at heart. Everything is an adventure. Like I step out the front door and it's an adventure. Like and it's just how you make those experiences, those little things, right? That moving the car across the ceiling or the stickers on the airplane. It's that memorable thing that makes what would otherwise be a mundane task an adventure and something fun. And like,
but I think the difference is it's something different. Like me leaving the front door to go to work every single day. That's not an adventure. That's a mundane task. Like,
yeah, but like
that's my mindset.
But again, I mean, it's all about your mindset, right? Like, Alana calls going to the grocery store with me adventures with Da because, like, we make it fun, right? Like, we'll like play games or sing or whatever when we're getting into the car, and then like I let her pick the music sometimes when we drive, or like we have a Spotify playlist that is called the Alana Compromise, and it's every other song is Blink-182 or Bluey, and it just goes back and forth between my playlist and her playlist. Which I need to get this shirt as an album art cover for that, because it is exactly
that's perfect for
the
it.
fit. But yeah, and so like, and then when we go to the store, right, like going grocery shopping is a kind of mundane thing, but like I'll spin the cart around backwards so that I'm like pushing by the basket side and she's in the little seat facing out, and I call it letting her drive. And like I'll make race car noises when I go around corners and stuff, and like all we're doing is buying fucking broccoli and, you know, apples at the store, but it's fun and it's exciting and it's an adventure. And so like she gets really hyped, and that was part of the reason why I do it, is because I have to make life fun or else I get bored and sad.
And just making me sad.
But the other part of it is like, that is, and we've talked about this in the past, right? Like that time when I'm taking her to the store is kind of like mom's break, because Emily is primary parent when I'm at work 40 hours a week, right? So like when I take her to the store, that means that Emily can get some R&R. She can chill out and read a book and not have a toddler running around and screaming, or she can, you know, take a shower without Alana trying to get into the shower, or, you know, whatever. And so by creating that adventure, now Alana wants to go to the store with me, right? Now Alana wants to get out of the house so that mom could get a break, you know?
That just,
and hopefully she's excited for our adventure and isn't freaked out by an airplane.
I'm just a boring person, apparently. So, like, I go to the grocery store. I'm like, God damn it, the grocery store again. Like, I just went last week.
Ah, man.
So, like, so, like, when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, here goes another $200 this week, another $300, you know, whatever the fucking what's on the list. And then it's the kids that want everything. Like, can I have whipped cream? Like, fuck, you need whipped cream for? Like, we watch our budget here so we can spend it here, kind of thing. But
yeah,
podcast for a different time. But
you just gotta figure it out. And I do that with Alana, where when she asks for whatever weird thing, I'm like, oh, what are you gonna cook with that? She's like, nothing. And I was like, oh, then we don't need it, right? Like,
see, the problem is like we do spoil our children, probably a little too much, but like, so they know whipped cream is a treat.
Yeah.
If the whipped cream's in the fridge and you just open your mouth and you get it, like, you know.
Oh yeah, man.
And they love that. So like they want the whipped cream because they want to eat it, but like you don't need it.
Yeah.
Because also, like, guilty as a dad, like I'll walk in, I don't like sweets, but that whipped cream's in there, and you gotta do it.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? Because and like that's what's always hard, right? Is you're walking through the store and like Noah's like, "Can we get whipped cream?" And you're like, "No, you don't need that." And then you walk 2 aisles over and you're like, "But this package of Oreos that's going to my office, we definitely need." Like, you know, like you don't like sweets, but it's the same. Like there's always like a trade-off, like a treat, right? Like for you it's probably beer. Like, we don't need to buy whipped cream, but dad needs beer. Let's not use the word needs. That seems aggressive, but
no, to be fair, I buy the beer and we all drink the beer. Not the kids. We all, our magic group drinks the beer.
Yes, like, but yeah, but I'm just saying. When you buy whipped cream, all the kids get the whipped cream. Like you can make the same argument.
It's definitely cheaper than this glass of beer right here.
Yeah.
No, okay. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I think it's just because, like, again, it's at how I was raised. It's hard to break the generational curse. I know probably a lot of dads feel the same way I do. I know there's probably a lot of dads like you, and there's probably a lot of dads like me who want to be like you, who don't want to see, again, every single day a mundane task. Like going on an adventure. You know what my next adventure is? Like, is going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Like that is an adventure.
Dude, that's an adventure for sure.
It's something new.
Yeah.
But like me going to work Monday morning, that's not an adventure to me because I've done that for the past. I don't. Yeah,
work is pretty work is kind of the anti-adventure. Like unless you have a super exciting job that you absolutely love, I guess maybe. But like
I do.
For most
those
people
of you who work with me and listen to this, I have loved my job.
Well, you could. I mean, I love what I do. I love my job genuinely, but going to work isn't like an adventure because it's something that I do 5 days a week, right? And like, yeah, I go to the store once or twice a week and it's the same grocery store and I'm usually getting similar groceries, right? But like, I don't know, it's just that mentality of like, hey, I'm gonna get up and we're gonna have some fun, right? Like if I have to do this thing, I'm going to enjoy it. Like for me, I think honestly, it started as a spite thing where I was like, if I have to do this, I'm gonna have fun. And then that just became like, hey, no, that's actually like, yeah, no, fuck that. Like if I have to do something, I'm gonna have fun doing it. Like, let's go, let's make it a party. And Emily will, as the queen of budgeting, she will tell you that I am the king of little treats, and I spend way too much money when I go to the store because I'm like, hey, I'm doing this mundane task. I get to reward myself by getting a little treat. And by a little treat, I mean sometimes it's like a candy bar, and sometimes it's like a $200 power tool, and it just depends on what store I'm in.
You need to stay out of stores.
No, go grocery shopping at Ace Hardware. It's great. Like, I got a bag
down the street from fucking.
I got a bag of beef jerky, 2 shovels, and a power drill. Groceries.
No, I saw this meme the other day. Like, oh, grocery shopping by myself with the kids, like $100 some odd. Grocery shopping with my husband, $4,608.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I'm actually guilty of that because I'm like, hey, I do need this salsa. Oh, yeah. I do need that.
Well, that's what, it's so funny because Emily and you are very similar, right? She has the like bit of social anxiety and the just like doesn't want to do the mundane thing of like going to the grocery store, right? And so like she loves that I do most of the shopping, and at the same time hates that I do most of the shopping because I do most of our shopping, which means I do most of our spending, which means we spend way more than if she was in charge of our grocery trips.
That would probably be why April's never like, just go to the grocery store. She did once. And I actually spent less than we ever have. And I'm so proud of it.
Well, what's funny is, so like I say that, but Emily will like, Emily is the queen of chocolate and candy and desserts and things, right? And so when I go to the store, I'll get, like when I take Alana to the store, we almost always get a Cars toy, like a Hot Wheels Cars or a Cars mini racer or something. Yeah, they're like, depending on which one you get, they're between like $2 and $6, and that is not going to break the bank, right? And then I'll get something for me that again typically is under $10, right? Sometimes it's a $5 pack of Magic cards, sometimes it's just like a Red Bull, like, you know, whatever thing makes me happy and makes that adventure feel rewarding, right? I got my XP at the end of my quest.
That's nerdism.
Yeah, dude, I'm a huge make everything a side quest. That's all it is.
I mean, that is there is an app to make everything a fucking quest.
Yeah. But like when she goes to the store, Alana will not get a Hot Wheels and Emily will not get an energy drink, but she will come home with like brownies and a couple of chocolate bars and some like a pint of ice cream for me. And like she actually ends up impulse buying way more than I usually do. But I think it's because she goes to the store like once a month and I go to the store like twice a week. And so when she goes big.
Big air quotes here.
Yeah. Well, but it's always food too. Like it's always like stuff that is consumable, which to me, like I was always, I think this is a very typical guy thing. And maybe we'll talk about this in a future episode on budgeting, but like when I wanted, like when I was single, right, this does not apply to my family life. And I don't think Emily would even let me live this way when we were together before we had a kid. If I wanted something and there wasn't like money in the budget for it, I would just eat less to be able to save money and then spend the money on the thing that I wanted. Right. So like, it's the like eating ramen instead of going out for steak so that you can afford the thing. Or to my honest detriment, I would still eat steak. I would just skip 2 meals, have steak for dinner, and my breakfast and lunch money would go to whatever the thing was, right? And this goes all the way back to literally lunch money. Like when I was in like elementary school, I would not spend my lunch money so I could buy a pack of Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards were the big thing back then.
yeah, exactly. You wonder where my trading card addiction started. It's with Charizard.
I did not have one until you guys, so thanks for that.
Classic.
35-year-old Derek has a problem. No, I mean, it's, you know, we all want to, we live in a world where we all want to enjoy our adventures for whatever they are. We all want to just buy that little thing, and you know what, fucking do it. I was asked in a fucking informal job interview fucking yesterday, like, what is that one mantra that you have in your life? And I was like, live every day like it's your last. And I hated telling him that. I hate that phrasing because it's so cliche. But at the same time, like, again, I can go to work tomorrow. I'm going to work from home tomorrow. But I can go to work tomorrow and somebody can hit me with a Corvette and kill me, because that actually happened today. Look at the news story, by the way. I didn't die. Somebody died because a Corvette hit them.
I was gonna say I didn't catch the news story that you got hit by a Corvette and killed today.
Yeah, no, I'm I look good for being dead, but shit could happen and you never know it. Like, so yes, save the couple of dollars when you need to, but also just like enjoy your candy bar, your pint of ice cream, let your kids enjoy the fucking $2 to $6 fucking cars, whatever you call it, a racer thing. It's okay. And again, I am not an adventure guy. I live a very boring life. My adventure is all of 1 thing, 2 things out of the year. But enjoy your life as it is now. Go to the grocery store and get your XP and get your Snickers bar.
I'm gonna turn the tables on Derek here real quick.
No.
and say something for all of our American viewership, which is what goes hand in hand with what Derek is saying is take your fucking PTO. Use your PTO, take vacations, take time off work, care for yourself. I know so many people who treat taking PTO as a shortcoming. Like, oh, I have to take a day of PTO. No, you fucking get to take a day of PTO. You get to take a week of PTO. Like, I'm so stoked that I'm taking this vacation, and like, am I going to have to do some pre-pro before I take a week off of work and some cleanup after I get back from a week off? For sure. Am I going to love every minute of that time that I'm away? Absolutely. Like, take that time, because at the end of the day, one, most places it's use it or lose it. You don't just magically stock up PTO until you die. At best, places let you roll over like a week to the next year.
At least a month at some places.
Yeah.
But you can't take it all at once.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Is like, hey, you're never going to take a 2-month vacation. Why are you saving your weeks and weeks of PTO not taking it? Like, go get out of the house, get out. Even if you don't do anything crazy, just take a staycation and make your backyard your adventure, right? Go lay by the pool and drink a beer and hang out with your wife.
So
go to Vegas.
I will say, so last week I did take Friday off, which again, I was just like, I shouldn't take a day off of work. and I took a day off of work. She surprised me and said, "Hey, I got a babysitter for the kids," and we walked around the Brass Armadillo, like, and it was fun. And we went out to lunch together. We went out to a magic card shop. She goes, "Introduce me to your world," and I was like, "This is a fantastic fucking day."
Yeah.
I was so glad to take that day off, but like, again, am I going to take a day off until my next day off? No, because I'm scared to.
Again, Mr. I don't take adventures. That's an adventure.
But again,
You
I
went
don't
out
take
and you did a cool thing and you had fun. That's an adventure.
but
Just
like,
change your mentality of it.
I completely forgot about that, even though it was all of fucking last week. But it happens so rarely, though, that like it didn't register. But yeah, it was a good time. But like, yes, take your PTO. I won't, and I don't. So I'm gonna be the fucking hypocrite here. Granted, I only have maybe 2 weeks right now, but I'm about to take 5 days next.
Whenever MagicCon is.
Yeah, I'm taking 5
2
days
weeks from now.
there. That's not 2 weeks. I'm fucking with, dude. Let me tell you, the days have been so long since you said, "Hey, you're going to this." Oh,
Classic.
but regardless, but like I'm taking off a couple days there, and then a couple days in November, and like I don't know. I'm a terrible person. Don't listen to me. Take days off. Listen to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, just go make adventures. I mean, PTO is great and you can take time off and still get paid for it. But even just a Saturday day trip to someplace fun or, you know, going to the grocery store and making it an adventure. Like, I don't know. I live for that, man.
Going to Ace Hardware and buying a power tool you don't need for $200.
Like, yeah, man. Oh, I need it.
I mean, we all need a power tool. I asked you for some fucking tools and bits and everything the other day. So, like, I need you to go on more adventures so I could.
There you go.
I can take advantage.
So you
of
can
it.
borrow my tools that I buy on my adventures.
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
Nice. Well, thanks for joining us. If you can do us a favor, if you're one of our podcast listeners and you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts, if you can rate and review the show, it really helps us out in the algorithm. We're trying to expand our scope and reach more people and talk to more dads and get more dads on the show. So, you know, a couple good ratings and reviews go a really long way to bump us up the Apple charts and you know, help that Spotify algorithm put us in more people's feeds. I don't know what Spotify calls it.
I don't fucking know. 4 stars. Give us 4 stars.
Out of 3, yeah, give us 4 stars.
No, out of 7.
Why, who has a 7-star rating?
Oh,
Anyway, 5-star reviews, thumbs up, smash like and subscribe, all the other influencer things. All of our socials are down below if you want to go follow us or reach out to us there. We're always looking for suggestions for topics or episode ideas for whatever our next adventure is going to be.
I don't take adventures.
Whatever adventure I'm going to take next and drag Derek along with me that he'll call a mundane task.
There we go. I love it.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next week, I'm Andrew Goody.
And I'm Derek Mata.
And we are proud of you.